Hey guys, you're in a nutshell with me, Ina. Caregiver program naman ang ating pag-uusapan. This is for those who are thinking about or planning, currently preparing for the upcoming intake. Okay? Yung next batch, next round ng pagtanggap. Yan, ng mga bagong applicants for the two caregiver pilot programs. That is scheduled sa March 2026. So maganda tong episode na ito just to give you an idea of what you can do to boost your chances para mas maging mapadali ang inyong application if balak ninyong makipagsapalaran sa D-Day. Okay, reminder guys, nung 2025, March din ba, Miss G?
March
Oh,
31.
March din. It just lasted a few hours. Nagsarado na agad yan in like 3 or 4 hours. So that gives you an idea of how competitive it is. Okay? Marami nagka-problema sa mga technical glitches and such. Yeah, so you should really prepare for it. But anyway, welcome back, Miss G. Geraldine Vallarail ng GHV
Yeah.
Immigration. At ayan ang ating pag-uusapan with Miss G. I think Miss G ang isang itatanong ng marami. Ano ba yan? Tutuloy pa ba? Tatanggap pa ba sila sa 2026? Una sa lahat, yung mga applicants for 2025, many are still waiting to hear kung sila ba ay makakuha ng AOR or what. Marami pang hindi nakakakuha ng AOR although meron ng ilan. And then parang may mga information going around na sobrang dami yatang mga nasa inventory na ngayon. So sinasabi, baka hindi na magbukas sa 2026, matutuloy pa ba yan? Yeah.
Yes, yeah. So until we hear directly from IRCC that they are closing the program, then doon lang tayo maniwala na talagang i-close ang program. So as of this time, wala pa naman akong naririnig or nararamdaman na paramdam from IRCC na magsasara. No? Actually, napakarami na naman na nagre-reach out sa atin. No, yeah, actually most of them, Miss Ina, are watching or watched yung ating mga episodes like
Yeah.
back then, kahit ang tagal-tagal ng mga episodes. Yeah, so kaya ang ating consultations are increasing. Oops, what is that? Just a minute. Okay, I think it's from my end. Sorry for that.
No problem. Low bat?
Hindi naman. Naka-desktop ako.
Okay.
Ito
Go
may
ahead.
nag-pop up na Java.
Sige. It's okay. Go ahead, Miss G.
Oo. So yun, yeah, it's still on as of today, and I'm really praying na wala namang laglarasay magsara, no, dahil napakarami talaga naghihintay. Karaniwan actually ng mga kliyente natin ngayon are from the past na nag-DIY or meron silang mga consultant na nag-try sila, hindi sila nakapasok. You know, it's heartbreaking for many na during the consultation, meron nga umiiyak pa na they're saying about their experience, and that was really, really sad. Kaya sabi ko, oh my God, the burden is on me now, to deliver. Yeah, really, I'm really pressured and I'm taking it personal, itong mga applications natin.
Nako,
really.
kayang-kaya mo yan, Miss G. Para sa mga curious, okay, at least for the 2025 intake, ang record lang naman ni Miss G sa mga kinuha niyang kliyente, 100% ay na-lodge niya, na ipasok niya successfully. Diba? Okay. Ilan nga ba yun, Miss G? Pero guys, wag natin i-stress si Miss G, ha? Siyempre, limitado lang din ang kanyang manpower. She can only accommodate a certain number of clients for the 2026 intake, which I don't know, puno ka na ba, Miss G?
Yes, I would say almost. Pero ang dami pa rin dumadating, and but I'm checking the resources, no, yung ating mga tao, 1:1 kasi laban natin dyan. So, yeah, but I think I do have more than enough right now. Ang dami nating mga nagsusulputan, sorry. Yeah.
It's okay.
Oo, punta tayo dun sa number ng from, kung magbubukas nga siya ng March 31, 2026. No? Kasi nakita natin yung report in the past, napakita mo yun. So under the child care, they are only allocating 2,750 under the child care.
Okay.
Yeah. And 2,750 for the home support. worker. No, so it's a total of 5,500. And what else? 275 for yung online or paper application, sorry,
Oo.
childcare, and another 275 paper application for the home support.
Okay, yung mga hindi umabot, ayan, ngayon diyan sila no? Pabilisan na maka-mail ng paper
Yes.
applications.
Yes.
Okay, let's get this clear. Only for inside Canada applicants ito, guys. Okay? Tinanong ko kay Miss G, sa mga gusto mag-clarify kung magbubukas pa rin ba yung caregiver pilots for those outside Canada. And dun sa episode ko na yun, I don't know, a few weeks ago, I explained, talagang kinontra ko yung ilang mga lumabas na articles on some immigration, websites na sinasabing hindi na daw, magsasarado na daw, parang forever, no? Yung applications, yung stream for outside Canada. Guys, hindi. Ito papakita ko ulit sa inyo. Ito, ang real-time website, okay, ng home care worker pilots. Tignan ninyo. Okay? Ito kasi nakasulat. Ito yung nakaka-confuse eh. Applicants not working in Canada, nakasulat dyan, closed. Pero kasi closed naman talaga siya ngayon, right, Miss Chi? It was never open.
Yes.
Oo, never yan naging open. Tsaka, basahin nyo rin itong, yan. The stream for applicants not working in Canada will open at a later date. Okay, so it's still in the plans. Okay, nasa plano pa rin ang for those outside Canada. Okay, Miss G, o sige na. For those inside Canada na planong sumali sa 2026, ano ang una nilang dapat gawin? Documents that need to be prepared this early, eligibility requirements, baka ngayon pa lang meron na tayong ma-shift ko, no, na hindi ka pala po pwede. Okay, huwag ka na mag-prepare. Baka hindi pasok ka nilang experience, yung mga ganyan.
Yeah, so number one, of course, sabi nga sa IRCC, ng IRCC is you are already living in Canada, no, and you are in an authorized work, so full-time in any occupation, no. So remember that in any occupation at this time. Yes, so punta tayo mamaya dun sa eligibility. Yun nga, in an authorized work in Canada, full-time. So we're talking about yung mga LMIA-based or yung naka-close work permit or yung mga naka-spousal open work permit, no, and other work permit, authorization, no, pwede dyan. Pati yung mga naka-maintained status, or remember yung naka-public policies nag-enter ng Canada, ito maraming nalilito rin dito sa public policies nun sa caregiver. So, yung mga nag-enter ng Canada legally before December 16, 2021. No? And hindi kayo nag-exit. You lived continuously since then. Then, another one is you had a work permit in some point of time from December 16, 2021. No? And so, you are...
So, pwedeng work permit sila before. Ngayon, baka student permit ka. Okay lang yun.
No, study permit, no. Unfortunately, hindi siya nakaspecify. Oo. And sabi nga, you are not inadmissible for reasons other than nag-overstay, for example, kayo, no? Or working or studying without authorization. So doon papasok doon yung sa public policy na walang authorization pero makakapag-apply for the caregiver program. Yeah. So probably it's good to siguro another episode for that, specific only for that topic.
Okay.
Yeah. So, and yung basic requirements, of course, yung language test report, no, which is an accepted dyan, are IELTS, CELPIP, or yung PTE, Pearson test of English language. And medyo mababa nga ang CLB na kailangan, no, you only need to score 4 for every language skill ability. And of course, the education requirements, which is equivalent to Canadian high school or higher.
Mhm.
I remember, Miss Ina, meron kang tanong sa akin nun, okay, nakatapos ng nursing, is that pasok
Sa
ba yun sa
Pilipinas.
caregiver program?
Yeah.
Tinanong mo sa akin nun. That time, parang hindi pa naglalabas ng full eligibility ang IRCC, but now it's a little bit I would say clear na about that. So as long as yung education nyo was obtained the past 2 years, no,
Oh,
then possible pumasok yun. But I see that as makukwalify under the home support. No, yung nursing, kung nakatapos ka ng nursing, bachelor degree of nursing, for example, that can qualify under the home support. But I doubt, and disagree na papasok siya under the childcare.
okay. What do you mean last 2 years, Miss G? Na
Kasi gumraduate ka ng, ano ba ngayon, 2025, at least like 2023 ka gumraduate.
okay. And of
Yeah.
course, any year beyond that, if you finished whatever course before is okay.
No, then definitely that won't qualify dun sa tinatawag natin na training, not the education, the training.
Sa training. Okay,
Sa
sa
training.
training requirement. All right. Okay.
Ay, bakit nga ako nag-jump doon, no? Nasa education requirement, it's my bad.
Sa education first. Okay, let's be clear. Sa education, ano ang required, Miss G?
Yun nga, equivalency of Canadian high school. So kung nakatapos kayo outside Canada, then you will need magpa-assess or yung tinatawag na Education Credential Assessment para malaman kung equivalency ba ng education nyo is at least Canadian high school.
Okay.
Kung
Usually yata sa Philippines, Miss G, mga naka 2 years ka in college, no?
Yes,
Yan ang
72
usually, Oo.
Yes, 72 units. So remember, pag nagpa-assess kayo ng documents, let us say ECA, no? Pag nagpa-assess kayo ng documents, huwag niyo ipapa-assess yung incomplete education nyo. Like let us say second year college. No? Kasi hindi i-assess ng ng ICAS. No? Kasi for us, they're really discouraging na talaga yung mga ganong scenario. Pero with ICAS, we have a new experience na kung naka 72 units ka sa college or university, means hindi mo natapos yung program, isubmit mo rin yung completed high school.
Oh, okay. So
Credential.
both. All right. Okay.
Yes. Yeah. So that is one thing, because otherwise magbabayad ka ng processing fee, for example sa ICAS, no, and if the documents are not complete, so sayang yung binayad mo, no, ibabalik nila sa iyo, and of course you cannot refund the processing fee.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now for the training required. Ito, yan yung training required.
Oo. So yun nga, relevant training means to say targeted towards the home childcare or yung home support worker category. No? And completed in the past 2 years. Ito yung sinasabi ko kanina.
Yan, okay.
And must be at the post-secondary level.
Post-secondary, okay. In short, dapat college.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So, diploma courses, like in the Philippines, we have sometimes 6 months na certificate program. Yan ang laging tinatanong. Tapat na po ba yun, Miss G?
Oo. Yeah, I have to dig deeper on that. I'm really not concentrating much sa outside application now.
Ay, oo nga pala. Sorry, dito pala, no? Okay.
Oo. Although dito, ang dami na nagnanak sa akin ng mga applicants from outside Canada. Sabi ko, no, by June na kayo, bumalik sa akin. Yeah. And luckily also, many of our applicants from inside Canada is mga nag-aral sila ng PSW. Dito sa Canada. Yeah. Marami tayong aplikante ganyan. And then of course, that is qualified as a training directly related to home support worker category.
Okay. Ano yung length of time na required? Meron po ba for your training?
Yes, kailangan minimum of 6 months. Hindi pwede ang online training, kailangan face-to-face in a classroom environment. And hindi rin siya parang part ng tawag dito practicum. No,
Mhm.
the training is really directly related sa caregiving dapat.
All right. Okay. How about sa job offer na required? Yan. Ano ang
Yes.
kailangan?
Oo. Offer can be from a private household. Like let us say there is a family who needs mag-aalaga sa aging parents or sa mga bata, no, or may medical needs, that is fine, or a business. But
Mhm.
remember, hindi daw pwede yung mga agency, no. Kailangan yung business is directly involved pa rin dun sa job responsibilities ng worker, and then sila yung nagpapasweldo. So parang marami rin tayong mga aplikante yung naka-ano raw sila, probably the easier word is yung mga nasa facility
Mhm.
na nagwo-work. Unfortunately, they cannot qualify for this um, pilot program. No? Ang
Oh,
qualify, yung dinadala sila sa mga bahay. Dinadeploy sila sa mga bahay. Then
yes. Okay. Oo,
talaga
oo,
nila
oo.
sa bahay ang kliyente. Mm.
Hindi po sila pupuwede. Yung
Yung
mga
mga
agent.
nasa facility, oo. Yung mga nasa retirement homes,
Okay.
no, yun hindi puwede yun. And naka-receive din tayo ng question, okay, I do have an employer, pero yung employer is study permit then or naka-work permit, walang mag-aalaga sa bata. Puwede po ba yung job offer na yun? Unfortunately not. No, ang ating employer must be a Canadian or permanent residents.
Yun, okay, okay. By the way guys meron pong tatlong tanong dito from our viewers doon sa isa kong live episode wherein I guested yung suwi nating immigration lawyer ni sa Attorney Lou. May mga tanong po doon about the caregiver program. Instead of having Attorney Lou answer it, I will ask si Miss G dahil alam natin mas maalam siya dyan, dahil mas marami po siyang experience dyan. I will ask those 3 questions later on. Isa pong sa tinatanong pa, Miss G, okay na ba tayo sa job offer?
Yes.
Yan, no? Yung proof of funds, yan pala. Proof of funds, may require po ba? At least ito pala, I think applies more doon sa 2025 na applicants, dahil I think they're preparing for that. Just so those mag-a-apply sa 2026 would also know ahead of time, talagang kailangan ito.
Yes, bigla namang may nag-pop up na na parang false information about that, no? Napa-check tuloy ako bigla sa canada.ca. And it's the same naman, walang nabago sa instructions, and there is no proof of funds for applicants from inside Canada. However, yun nga, still proof of funds will be required for applicants from outside Canada.
Yun, okay.
Yes.
At least that's clear. Okay, okay, okay.
Oo.
No required proof of funds sa mga nasa loob ng Canada pala. Okay, I got it.
And again, Miss Ina, let me tell this again. No, always believe, of course, nanonood tayo ng mga vlogs, di ba? A lot of like items regarding immigration. Sometimes you will see, you have to validate yung information na nakikita natin online. Now, most of the time nga parang AI lang nila nakukuha yung information. Remember, AI can make errors a lot of time. Yes. Actually, natutuwa nga ako sa AI because sometimes I'm using that, I'm asking, but I know what's the answer. So if you correct AI, yes, naniniwala siya sa'yo, oh, you're correct.
Kainis siya, no?
Natatawa ako dun.
Correct. Alam mo guys, even those that we discuss on this channel, please, i-check nyo pa rin sa totoo lang sa IRCC website. In this case, you can always check it sa canada.ca. For example, ayan i-google ninyo at lalabas ito. From this lang mismo, yung pinag-uusapan namin ni Ms. G, ayan na who can apply, get a job offer, how to apply, and then what to do after you apply. It's all here. You don't even need us sa totoo lang. Ginagawa lang namin ito kung tinatamad kayong magbasa. you can use this episode na lang din. Okay. Did we miss anything, Miss G, before I put up the questions na naka-set aside? Meron ka pa po bang ihahabol?
Yeah, siguro yung submitting an application,
Ano?
oo, definitely ang dami pa ring gustong mag-DIY, no? And of course, we don't discourage them to do the DIY, but you really need to be ready for that. And if you are hiring a consultant, make sure that you are dealing with a licensed consultant. And of course, check their track record, especially how they communicate with the client. And yun nga, hindi lang license, of course, check. May experience ba talaga sila na mag-submit ng applications and yun, the how do you call that one? The approval rate. No, that's very important. Make your forms, documents ready. Submit your documents. For example, how will you prove your eligible work experience? I-prepare nyo na dyan yung the pay stubs, no? And the bank statement, yung mga T4s nyo, and of course, the employment letter or job offer dun sa past or current employers nyo. And another thing, remember, in a PR application, isasama nyo ang asawa nyo or anak nyo sa, yun nga, not really like isasama, your family members have to pass all the eligibility concerns, no, such as the criminality and health. For example, Miss Ina, you are the applicant, no, and you have your spouse, you have your child. Isa lang sa inyo, kahit pa anak or ang asawa, ang bumagsak sa admissibility concern. Kahit pa qualified ka, Miss Ina, sa stream na to, ma-refuse automatically ang application.
Can you give us some examples of these inadmissibility grounds, okay, na baka hindi alam ng ilan, ano? Hindi lang naman siguro mga terrorist organizations na miyembro ka ang nandiyan. Ano pa ba ang mga, perhaps you know of some cases na na-deny because may natuklasan dun sa kanilang kasama?
Yes, una tayo dyan sa may natuklasan, yung misrepresentation. Of course, that's an inadmissibility concern. And the criminality, of course, no, that is through the presentation ng mga police clearances from all the countries you have stayed in the last like 10 years or from the age of 18 years. And of course, the health concern. So typically, yung mga contagious disease. So yan ang concern ng Canada. Those are the main inadmissibility concern, especially for the PR application. So isa lang sa inyo, kahit sabihin pa na, ay hindi ko naman sasama si Mr. ko sa Canada, iiwan ko siya sa Pilipinas, kahit na hindi sasama, magpapa-medical yan and magsasubmit ng police clearances.
Wow, kahit hiwalay na kayo, halimbawa, Miss G.
That is something that you really need to prove na na-dissolve na yung relationship nyo. No? Yeah, it is best na, like let's say, ang tagal-tagal na, 20 years or 10 years na hindi na kayo nakikita talaga na mag-asawa. Especially if you're here in Canada, it's easy to, meron tayo isang, ang ating lawyer about the divorce dito sa Canada, di ba? So, it is better kung talagang dissolve na yung ties nyo, it is better to apply for the divorce.
Para malinis na, wala nang tanong.
Yes, yes.
Okay. Doon pala sa employer letter, Miss G, is there a suggested format for it? Para medyo magmukha namang, katiwa-tiwala, hindi na magduda yung IRCC na doon sa itsura ng iyong job offer? Meron bang ganyan? Papanotarize ba nila yan? Paano ba?
Yeah, I don't suggest na magpa-notarize, but of course, I also suggest at the same time. Kasi sabi ko nga, a simple document can transform to a legal document pag pinanotarize mo. Diba? Mas may bigat ang application. And even if it's just typed or handwritten in a piece of paper, kung talagang, authentic yung job offer, no? And remember, you have to mention na it's a full-time, permanent job offer. And then you have to mention if it's falling under, is it a childcare ba or under the home support. So ilalagay nyo rin dyan magkano per hour ang pasweldo sa inyo, and then kailangan magmamatch yan dun sa median wage ng location kung saan yung job offer. No?
Alright.
Oo.
Okay.
So parang yung nag-a-apply din ng LMIA pero wala nga lang LMIA to. Pero when it comes to the instructions on how you have to form your offer letter, para rin nag-a-apply ng LMIA. No?
All.
So it's actually in the canada.ca. Andun lahat yung instructions, ano dapat ang makita sa job offer nyo.
Alright, okay. By the way guys, yung gumagapang dyan sa baba, yan po ang email ng GHV Immigrations G. Yung personal email niya, siya mismo ang nag-handle. Yang huli, yan o, geraldine@ghvimmigration.com. Okay, so if you want to get in touch with her, you can shoot her an email there. Okay, Miss G, I will post some of the questions. Tatlo po ito from our live, nung couple of weeks ago. Ayan, si Mark Santos, sabi niya, hi, 40 years old, IT background. May French, factor. Sabi niya, kung magte-take po ba ng caregiver course in the Philippines, plus French language, may chance po ba ma-PR? Currently in the Philippines.
Parang ang layo, no? IT background. Pero anyway, straight answer. You may have definitely a pathway for this caregiver. No, however, success depends on meeting the specific eligibility criteria. No, kailangan nga magkaroon ka rin ng qualifying job offer. And remember, your age, 40 years old, no, it's not a barrier in the caregiver pathway. Hindi katulad ng sa express entry na points-based. No? So, naglalagay, okay, talagang porsigido ang ating nagtatanong. Gusto ko mag-caregiver pathway, pero ito yung profile ko. Yeah, age 40 years old, yes. And yung IT background mo, yeah, it won't negatively affect your application. But of course, it's important to show yung caregiving readiness through yung training, and then work experience, and of course, yung intent mo na magka-caregiver ka talaga, hindi ka mag-work as an IT person.
Oo.
And
actually, si Mark Santos, actually, Miss G, feeling ko, kung mag-French language lang siya, pwede siya sa category-based na express entry, you don't even need to. I mean, if you want to do both streams, apply for both streams caregiver from outside Canada, which will open at a later date. Tapos doon ka sa express entry, mag-profile ka rin doon with French na category-based. Pasok, di ba? May dalawa ka ng possible streams agad.
Exactly. Yeah. So I would suggest kay, anong pangalan niya, Mark? Yeah, try mo mag-create ka ng express entry profile mo, and how I see that, you have a big chance then under the express entry. And remember, you don't need a job offer to enter ang express entry pool.
Yan. Okay. Next question, si Jenny. Totoo po ba yung proof of funds? Ito sinasabi ko sa Ms. G, may sort of confusion kasi. Proof of funds sa March 2026 sa Home Care Worker Immigration Pilot applicants inside Canada.
Yeah, I will say again, no. Napacheck nga po, di ba? Sabi ko, teka, saan ba nakita itong mga to? Yung proof of funds, pero wala pa rin nabago talaga eh. Maniniwala lang ako sa canada.ca and other related websites. No, yes, it's not. There's no proof of funds. If ever magkaroon, definitely, meron na naman bagong episode si Miss Ina dyan.
Okay, siguro, ako ang hula ko dyan, magre-require lang sila ng proof of funds for outside Canada applicants. Tulad ng ni Miss G nga kanina, it just makes more sense. Yeah. Nandito na kasi kayo di ba? Yung mga mag-a-apply for 2026. Okay. Michelle Robles, I'm working as a nanny under closed work permit, Pero hanggang January 2026 na lang daw siya dahil magde-daycare na yung alaga niya. Sakto, 1 year at 1 month yung kanyang experience. Pwede na po
Oo.
ba yun pang file sa 2026 intake?
Okay, so talking about her experience, so na-cross niya na yung 6 months minimum requirement, di ba? Kung pass din siya dun sa education and other eligibility, then pwede siyang mag-apply. However, kailangan mo rin na ma-meet yung having an eligible job offer, of
Yeah.
course.
Eh,
So yun
oo
ang tatrabahuhin niya, the job offer.
Oo, nabago kasi nga yung
Yes.
alaga pupunta na ng daycare. Ito
Mm-mm.
pala, tatlo, yun lang naman no, Miss G. Pero mayroong isang common concern pala ako na naririnig din sa ilang mga nagko-comment sa iba kong episodes. Yung mga nag-apply pala nung 2025, Miss G, na wala pang AOR. Mawawala na daw sila ng status soon. Wala pa yung AOR. Ano ba ang pwede nilang gawin? Ano dapat nilang gawin? Ano bang mangyayari sa kanila?
Oo. Number one, approach nyo yung current employer nyo kung meron man kayo or any prospective employer na pwede po bang makapag-apply or support me through the LMIA route. No? So remember, ang caregiver, it is not affected by the refusal to process yung unemployment rate na 6% and above, and even the cap also. So if you're the employer who can support the LMIA, go for it. Kung wala talaga, no, it is very important na mag-transition kayo. Like let us say, wala talagang job offer anong gagawin ko? Mag-transition kayo into visitor. It is very important na hindi kayo mawala ng status throughout hanggang makuha nyo yung PR status nyo. No? Kung wala talaga, hindi na makapag-stay sa Canada kasi pag nag-transition kayo into visitor, you cannot work. Paano mabubuhay sa Canada? No, you can even leave the country. No, I actually checked a lot of times kung may mga butas bang makikita about that one. Nakita ko lang doon, Miss Ina, is you remember that you are in a temporary resident status. Something like it is your responsibility and to make sure na i-maintain yung temporary resident status mo.
Yan, okay, okay. May isa pa pala, Miss G. Okay.
Yes.
Nabanggit ko to sa'yo before we started recording. There are questions. Totoo daw ba? Because meron na namang mga nagpo-post na mga website na sinasabi na sa lahat daw ng mga nag-apply, okay, noong 2025, only 14% of those will be processed. Okay, I think this is another, medyo nako-confuse yung mga tao. So, feeling nila, hindi porke nakapag-lodge ka ng application mo, ipaprocess yun. Dun lang sa 14% daw. Parang may ganong idea, Miss G. Saan po ba nanggaling yan?
Oo.
Alam mo
So
ba?
meron tayong reference from the Canadian website again. I mean, Canada government site that we saw that 14%
Ito yan,
that will be processed. Yes, Miss Ina, siguro better pakita natin for
Yes.
transparency.
This one. Okay. This is from, teka muna, pakita natin. Ayan, from Canada.ca to, no? Kung tawagin IRCC Minister's Transition Binder. I guess these are notes, okay? From the Office of the Immigration Minister about different things, okay? Tackling issues of the different pathways to Canada. Ito po yung sa caregiver. And then, let's go to that table, no? Yung may 14%. Teka. Yan. Ito yata yung pinanggagalingan ng ibang reports. And I think it was misunderstood by some, Miss G. Nakasulat dito, yan. Current inventory na meron ngayon ang Canada, 34,400. Admissions year to date, so far, ang na-process na, 4,200. So, ito nakasulat, inventory to be processed in 2025 is 14%. What does that mean, Miss G?
Yeah, so definitely how I interpret that table, no, that 14% is from the 34,400. So it is, if you look at that, IRCC will gonna process 4,816 applications for 2025. And hindi lang yan sa home care worker, immigration pilot. Kasi
Yeah.
'di ba, 5,220 lang ang pwedeng maipasok last March of this year.
Mhm.
So ang nakikita natin sa inventory 34,400. So it is very clear na kasama diyan pati yung mga applicants from the past caregiver
Yeah.
program.
Also, hindi lang naman po kasi sila, I mean, there are other PR pathways for caregivers, right, Miss G? I
Yes.
think some provinces have some programs for them, yung mga may PSW background, yung mga ganyan, di ba?
Yes, yeah, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah,
so I
right.
think covered rin sila dito. Tama po ba yun?
Yeah, how I believe no, the provincial nominee program, because I'm seeing there the SUV, agri-food, those are the federal, ano ba tawag mo dyan? Federal
Economic.
economic, oo, yung mga special category. No, I doubt nakasama dyan ang caregiver. Kasi based dun sa mga categories na nakalagay dyan, there is a separate one kasi for the PNP.
I see. Okay, but what you're saying, Miss G, is not to worry. Basta pag na-launch po yung application nila nung 2025, ipa-process po yun. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, of course, ipa-process yan. And another thing also, awan ko kung nabanggit ko na to in our past episode, but how the officer assess the application. So yun nga yung AOR, marereceive lang nila yon once the visa officer check kumpleto ba tong documents nyo, may IRCC forms, ECA, a language test, and others. Based on the checklist, no, kapag kumpleto lahat yon, then you will receive the AOR.
Okay.
Pag na-receive nyo ang AOR, in my experience, I receive the biometrics in the same day. No? Oo. So kapag na-receive nyo na yon, then that will be your opportunity kung mawawala na kayo ng status, no, na mag-apply for a bridging open work permit.
Yeah, okay.
Yung AOR na yon.
What happens if their application, sabi mo, no, kung complete, then an AOR will be issued. What if there's something wrong with their documents? Ano ang ginagawa usually po ng IRCC o ng officer?
They will return your application.
Okay.
Oo. Wala pa kasing assessment, Miss Ine, ano, pag naka-receive ng AOR, it's only like checking complete ba yung yung documents. So pag may AOR na, you can expect sunod na dyan is yung assessment ng documents nyo. So the AOR is not an indication na ma-approve na talaga yung application nyo. So doon pala magsisimula yung assessment.
All right. Okay, well, that is clear, no, guys? Maraming salamat, Miss G, for answering all our questions. Yung kanyang email ni Miss G, again, yan pong gumagapang sa baba if you wanna get in touch with her. Sa mga nagtatanong, medyo papuno na ang slots ni Miss G for the 2026 intake. Kayo na lang bahala makipag-usap sa kanya kung gusto ninyong magpa-sign up sa kanya.
Yes, probably Miss Ina, I don't know if I have to, but I want to mention here we actually have a webinar.
Okay.
For this coming Thursday, it's at 7 p.m. Ontario time. It is more of like a guidance application, no preparation.
Mm-hmm.
So
I will put up your Facebook page, Miss G.
Okay po.
Yan. Okay, i-follow nyo yung Facebook page ng GHV Immigration. Ayan po siya. And then I think nakapost din dito yung webinar ninyo.
Wala pa yung webinar tomorrow.
Ay, hindi pa nakasulat. O sige, basta ipa-upload mo.
Yung aking mga angels, hindi pa pala napopost sa GHV Canada. Nasa GHV Philippines yun.
Ayan. Okay. O basta guys, GHV Philippines pala. O, meron pa palang ganun. Okay, basta guys, GHV Immigration. Ayan po yung kay Miss G. Alright. Okay, guys. We will end this episode here. Miss G, thank you so much.
Thank you,
I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!